I've been working on my 60-second elevator pitch, but for the brand of Anne. So what is that? So we figured out, the phrase. We figured out kind of we're figuring out the meat and the content and what I say behind what that phrase is.
Can you do it right now?
So no, I can't do it right now because I don't have it crafted, and that's making me really nervous, Matt. However, I will share with you some of the concepts from it.
If you say you're working on a 60-second pitch, right? Isn't now the best time to practice it?
It could be. So, okay. So here's the premise. I'll just try to go through it. What's rolling around in my head.
No, I am a listener. There's no premise. I don't know anything about you. What's the pitch?
All right, Matt. It's go time. Okay. I don't even know how I'm going to start it. I'm so on the spot right now. It's going to be hard. But here we go. We'll try it. You know those things that you have about yourself that are quirky and maybe odd, or that you feel make you a freak, and you don't share them with anyone, and you get really nervous and you want to hide behind your mask a little bit more? The thing is, the things that take up your mind that you try to hide from everybody else are the things that are going to consume your life. And so why not share your freak? So when we talk about sharing your freak, those are the things that make you sweaty and nervous and want to just completely hide from the world. But those are actually the things that make you unique. The thing is, businesses are not unique. There are 1,000 businesses out there that do the same thing. It's the people behind the businesses that make them unique. And what I do is help bring those things to the front by sharing your freak. Share your freak with me, with everybody else, and start sharing them with the world, because those are the things that are going to set you free.
That's amazing. What was so hard about that? And that's
I don't
really good.
know. Thank you. So the whole brand is Share Your Freak. That's what we're market testing. We're going to market test.
You're really going in on these double meaning brands. We got OnlyFounders. Now you're sharing freaks. I mean, I don't know what's next.
Yep, I know, Matt. I know. You know what's funny is we've been talking about the audience for this, and we've talking about how they're basically me, right? 35 to 40-year-olds, most likely parents. This is like the honed in target audience, although it's going to reach a much wider net. It's the people that have had kids that just breaks you open and tears you up inside, and it makes you face all of the demons that you've had from your childhood, your own parents, your own upbringing, and you go, shit, I am so broken, and you're feeling hopeless. Maybe you're on the verge of divorce. Your partnership is not what you want it to be. Through that journey, and that doesn't have to be the trigger, but that was my trigger. There could be depression, addiction, alcoholism. There could be avoidant. There could be affairs, porn addiction. There could be so many things that just you feel so broken. And the point is, whatever it is that makes you a freak to the outside world and you think you're a freak, you're actually not. Those are the things that once I started sharing so many things about me that I thought would make me a freak to someone else, is actually the most connecting and freeing things I've ever said in my life. And it's gotten me some really, really deep friendships and partnerships with clients and colleagues. And the more I share everything that I thought was a skeleton in my closet, it turns out people absolutely love. And it's like the most beautiful, freeing pieces about me that make me me. There are 1,000 bajillion million branding agencies on this planet, right? There are so many marketing agencies that can help you with that. The point is they don't have Anne. And so I kept hearing, well, it's not the branding agency, it's Anne. People want to work with Anne. So when I'm trying to get Anne out of the business, I'm like, oh, shit, that's not really going to work because the business is Anne. So I just thought, well, why not make a business out of Anne then? Right? That's kind of where the concept came from, is right. The more I started sharing my freak, I was like, I'm actually a pretty cool chick. And it took me like 40 years on this life to really realize who I was. And then I started sharing that woman with the world, and it got me way more results and way better relationships and way more intention and purpose than I could have ever dreamed of. And I've never felt more free. When I started sharing who I really was, I literally am so free.
It's interesting the pivot you're kind of looking at, because usually when maybe you saw this, maybe you didn't, but you had to go from you had to get a bunch of signals to say, hey, I want to start a business. And then you start a business or two, and then you kind of are in it for a few years. And then you get new signals to say, here's a better path that even overrides the current one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that process is, to me, very, very difficult. But you sound like you just handle it like kind of no problem. Because I can't context switch very easily. It's like,
Okay.
I get locked in one thing and like, I got to stay there. But so that means like what happens is I miss signals. I miss signals a lot.
Oh,
And
interesting.
because of that, I build my business to be actually like, you get a signal, the signal needs to be like 2, 3, 4, 5 of the same thing.
Okay.
Then it pops in me. And I feel like a lot of things that you're saying and where you're pivoting, it's like you got one signal, but that wasn't enough. So you got another distinct one signal, and you got a bunch of these distinct signals, and they converged.
Yes.
And then you moved on. Versus me, I'm not a convergence guy. It's like, just give me the same signal over and over, then I get the point.
Right, which is what you and I talked about earlier this year.
You're founding something different.
Yeah, exactly. I'm founding something different. And the way I'm viewing it is I'm founding my third business, and it's the business of Anne. And it's probably the most important business I've ever worked on because it is the tide that lifts all boats, right? And so that's why I said now. That was your question at the beginning. Why now? I literally thought if I build the brand of Anne because it's screaming to me, and I'm going to go follow that. Well, there's no harm in that. If you have a personal brand, right, whatever I do in the future, whatever business I invest in or partner in or create, and even growing my own businesses, they're not, nothing is, I looked at what will be the downfall of this, right? If I shift my energy right now. And the thing was, I couldn't find anything, because if you invest when the time is calling you in something that could potentially elevate everything else that you touch in the future, because you have the following, or because you have, recordings of you speaking. I mean, that's evergreen content. So regardless of how long I put this energy into the brand of Anne, let's say that this then runs its course and I feel good about it. And then I go back to wanting to grow the businesses. And let's say within this, I guess, trajectory of building the brand of Anne, I meet people, which I can't wait to meet so many people. I think there's going to be some global connections, some global travel, some speaking engagements in different countries. And I think the world needs this. I don't think this is just a US thing. I think there are so many people around the world. This is so broad of a mission that I can go on and do something with, that literally there could be business people from all over that hear about Tend to Launch, and then it takes one person, one relationship, one connection that says, oh, we should, do this with this. And then it blows it out of the water, or, gets it to a place where it evolves and then it's acquired, whatever that looks like. That's what I love about all these new projects. You don't know what exists for them in the future. I don't know where Fix Inform is going to go. I don't know where Tend to Launch is going to go, but I'm excited about it. I love having an AI branding company that is cutting edge and taking us into the future in that way. And then also a very traditional brand and marketing agency to see what that does. That's people and consulting based. And I don't know what I'm going to found next, but I know it's going to be something. Because like you said, I thrive in this environment of working on something new. I thrive in pivoting based on where my intuition is going and where my energy needs to go. So I know there's going to be so much business activity from me doing this brand development, because it's me. And so if I'm connecting with the people that I love connecting with in brand therapy and Fix Inform and Tend to Launch, right? Then there's so much more that I could do, right? But if I'm not present, if I'm not building the brand to connect with these people, and I'm just staying siloed in these companies, but yet I'm trying to grow them, so I take more of me out of the company, it seems counterintuitive, right? It's not necessarily, I think, the same thing.
It's still early. So, I'm more curious and see how you evolve this, because I think it's very easy in my head. And this is kind of more of the skeptic in me. Mm-hmm. Until you're out and you test it, you could say whatever you want. Mm-hmm. Until you are out and you actually can figure out what is the right content, what is the wrong content. Right. Because I think that's where I'm more interested in. I think it's very easy. All of us can look up and figure out, okay, let's spend forever in strategy. Let's spend forever in planning. Right. But I'm more interested in the execution. So we're going to have to follow this podcast up. Maybe it'll have to be
Mm-hmm.
4 weeks from now. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm going to ask again, what does your Monday look like? I'm not looking for a 10-minute speech on how your media company can help you. I want to know, what are you doing in the first hour of your Monday that
Mm-hmm.
is going to make you hit your goal, whatever it's. I don't even know your goals as a media personality. I don't even know what the goal is, right?
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned reach people. What does that mean, right?
Yeah.
I could say I want to reach 1,000 people. Okay, I get lucky with the video, reach 1,000 people. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what does that mean? But that's luck. It's not based on like an effort I can like keep
My,
going at it.
I'll
So
share some of those
that's
with
what I'm
you
looking for.
because I wrote some down last week because they just hit me. It was really weird. It was like the pen just started moving and I was like, oh, okay, this is where we are. So over my channels, my personal channels, my Ann Gillespie channels, I want to have a following of 11 million people. That number
Okay.
just it came out of my mouth. It was like throw up. I was like, okay, that's where we are. The goal is I want to hit 11 million people. I want to be speaking in a keynote speech, a TED Talk, a guest lecture, some type of speaking, connecting with an audience monthly. So 3 or 4 times a quarter. And
So a
that's
lot of your Mondays could be
tangible
like maybe
things.
following up on those like requests. Usually there's like a request
Mm-hmm.
for proposal or whatever. I forgot
You
what they're
got it.
called. There's like a certain form, like you give a topic to someone and say if they agree with it. So maybe like
Yep.
the first 15 minutes of a Monday morning is like sending or reviewing of
Mm-hmm.
those.
Yep, exactly. And I want to be recording content daily to my channels that is in line with this brand. So I want to have a content schedule. I want to have some words and phrases I can kind of go off of. I'm already on social media every day. I just want to make sure it's
Mm-hmm.
consistent with the messaging. And I want my content that I connect with people on the daily to impact at least one person. That's my goal. And I don't know how I'm going to learn
I
that
like
unless
that.
they give me feedback, but I want something that I say and I put on my channels to impact at least one person that day that changes their thought process for that day.
You know what's one easy measurement
Hmm.
is just measure by one comment. One comment a day is more
Okay.
than enough to measure,
I
right?
love that.
Because like zero comments, like you can post forever and zero comments, but if you're
Mm-hmm.
still not getting, like at least you can be like, I just want to at least hit one. You
Yeah.
get one, and then you see sustain it, and then you can build two, and then four. I'm at 0 to 1. This is high scale. So
Yeah.
this is like, I think that could be like, okay, if you wake up Monday and you still didn't hit that goal, then in my head it's like, well, what are other ideas I can play around with this week to try to hit that goal?
And do you want to know what's funny, Matt? Since you're the data guy, I'm going to end with this because I think this is beautiful. When I was writing out my goals on this notepad, and there's a lot of other goals, there's data, there's long-term, short-term vision, a lot of it with this business, right? My other goal is I want something to monetize from this work that I'm doing with the media company within 3 months. I want something, and that's also what they do. I didn't share that. After our 30-day strategy, they have the relationships. It's like a media company, PR. They get
Mm-hmm.
book deals. They have all the publisher relationships. They book speaking engagements. They have all of those relationships. They do all of it for you. So that is something that I can't build or buy easily or quickly. That's something, that's something I can't build. That's something that you need to buy, especially really great relationships people in the press and in PR and in media. They're the ones that get you all of the guest bookings and such. So that's what they do. So they don't only develop you as a brand, but they're long-term partners for years and years and years on your journey. And they're the ones that get you booked and actually blow you up. They were in the
Cool.
early days of Grant Cardone, Joy Story, Mel Robbins. They developed all of those people.
Mm-hmm.
So they're pretty reputable, which is really fascinating to me because I love a lot of those brands. Mel Robbins is totally something I go to. So one of the things that I thought was funny, and I'll end with this, is on my sheet of goals when I wrote down my vision, money wasn't a part of it. It was really neat. Money and the amount of money or what I want my booking fee to be or, whatever, it didn't even come up. It was so cool. It was just like being a healthy person with nutrition. You don't focus on the result of what you're doing. You're focusing on the input. And Atomic Habits changed my life. I read it twice. I think when you focus on the habits that get you what you want and where you want to be, the results are just bonus. And so I felt like all that I was writing down was activity, my input, and then what I wanted to do, the action. And then that action is obviously all of those things are going to be producing in a monetary way but I didn't care about that. And I even told my husband, let's say this hits big. Let's say this works. Let's say in 10 years from now, I have over 11 million following in my community and I've done it, right? Obviously, there's going to be money there. I don't actually want to be wealthy. I actually don't want an excess of money. I've never wanted that. I want to make a living, a comfortable living with our family of 5 for the present and the future of us and our children, whatever that means. And then anything that's extra, I don't want it. I want to start scholarship funds. I want to start grant funds for founders and people doing cool shit. I want to start different things where we do nonprofits or we do donations. We help causes. We help people heal through the excess money that something like this could bring in. That's what I want. I want the money of this to actually also be an arm of my mission of helping the world heal in doing this work. So it was really interesting that not $1 amount came on that page. Yet when I've done business planning before and when I was growing businesses, I literally have org charts and different process flows to get to $1 million revenue model or to get, it was all around money.
Cool. I mean, I think we got a lot to unpack that. So
yeah,
maybe in a few
TBD.
weeks, let's revisit this because
let's do it.
We have a lot of big goals, small goals, and I want to get in the weeds on that. I got to run, so that'll be it for our podcast. We'll see you next time.
Sounds good. Thanks, Matt.